Everywhere, GBS.
The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. Today on the show we are talking about future trends in entrepreneurship. What are the current things that you're seeing in entrepreneurship? Are you an entrepreneur, or do you think entrepreneurship is something to go by? These are some of the things that we are going to discuss today, and I'm not alone. With me, I have guests who are going to help us to understand better on the future trends of entrepreneurship. I will allow them to introduce themselves. Welcome, guests, starting with you.
Thank you so much for the show. I'm also happy to be here. I'll start by mentioning my name. I'm Alpha Mwangi. Alpha Mwangi is a business at Wakulima Markets, famous known as Marigiti. He also pastoring one of the SEK churches as an assistant there. And altogether is also giving orders to hotels, big hotels, on things that they normally use. So all in the large of it is a man in business.
Welcome, Mr. Alpha. And to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eunice. Hello, viewer. My name is Benjamin Mudoka. I'm a mind education specialist.
Welcome, Mr. Benjamin. To start with, future trends in entrepreneurship. In the current time that we are in now, before we came on the show, we were saying that the ultimate goal is entrepreneurship. To start with you, Mr. Alpha, why entrepreneurship? Why a businessman and not a politician, not a doctor, not other corporate or other jobs, but business?
Thank you so much for that. It's a wonderful question to me. Mm-hmm. When I did my schooling, mm-hmm. I have been employed some places, two or three places. Mm-hmm. And from those places, mm-hmm. I sum up my mind, I joined to business. Mm-hmm. One thing that I love in business, mm-hmm. you are the manager of yourself. Mm-hmm. Number two, if you perform business wisely, mm-hmm. at the end of the day, you get a good profit. Mm-hmm. Like me, I'm at Wakulima Market for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. And Wakulima Market, that's well known by many of Kenya, is the biggest market in East Africa, mm-hmm. where we feed a lot of people in Nairobi, even outside Kenya. Mm-hmm. We transport all these things. Mm-hmm. The moment I joined this business, mm-hmm. my heart came to realize, mm-hmm. now I'm on the track, the best track I can be on this earth. Mm-hmm. Number two, I've been with the people who have been employed. Mm-hmm. And eventually I've been complaining how the work is performed there, mm-hmm. in those offices. Mm-hmm. And a time when I invite them to where I work, mm-hmm. they enjoy the business. Mm-hmm. To me, what I have come to realize and even to see in Kenya or even outside Kenya, mm-hmm. the business is the head of everything. Mm-hmm. If you can be employed somewhere, maybe a teacher, my wife is a teacher. Mm-hmm. At the time when we talk on the table, mm-hmm. she normally told me, the business is the best thing. Mm-hmm. As he teach, he also try to operate some of the small businesses, mm-hmm. but because he's not that keen and perfect on it, mm-hmm. you could see not perfecting quite well. Mm-hmm. I remember she started selling rice, mm-hmm. and she was telling me the profit of rice is quite small, it's minimal. Mm-hmm. And I was encouraging her and telling her, it's only because now you have not set up your mind on business. You're in class, also you are coming out to engage on business. In business, what I could say, one, you have to be disciplined. Mm-hmm. Like us, like me, I normally give orders to the big hotels in this Nairobi. Mm-hmm. Those the big hotels, talk of Selena, talk of Hilton, talk of Nairobi Club. I'm a supplier of them. Mm-hmm. And when you are being given those orders, you have to be disciplined in giving what they require. Mm-hmm. Because the moment that you don't deliver, mm-hmm. your business will be out.
I have a question as we continue with this. You said you've been employed, and now when you started business, you had affirmed that you're in the right track.
Yes.
What inspired you for you now to get out of now employment and now settle, and now furthermore settle in Wakulima market as a, should I say, supplier, or also a farmer stroke supplier?
All of them. You're on the right track.
Okay.
Because I normally time go to Shamba. I might plant some of the things, then I bring them to the markets. So at time I bring my own commodity, which have gone to the ground, and I have managed. I have made them, then I have bring them to the markets. Some times ago, when I came to Nairobi, I was employed to cash works and some other jobs at Kenya Airways those days. And the tricky thing with them, they told me to work on Sunday. You know me, I have told you as I was doing introduction, I also do go services in church. So to me, that one downcasted me, my life and my spirit. So I told the manager, my faith does not work on this. There is no way I can come to work on Sunday.
Okay.
So, in fact, I remember I worked there, I think 3 months. Even the side did not go for it. I sent somebody to come to bring that salary for me. And I told them, I have washed up my hands on working here. So when I joined the business, on Sunday I close the business. I go to church to worship God, and even to give people hope about what they are going through. Yes.
Interesting. Coming to you, Mr. Benjamin, hearing what Mr. Alpha is saying about what inspired him. For him, working on Sunday is it's a no-no for him. And we have others who I'd rather work on Sunday or work Sunday to Sunday, but secure this job, especially now that you're having a hard time of financial issues, stability in the country and in the world. What do you have to say on the same?
I think I normally call him pastor. But on the other hand, he's the chairman of Wakulima market. And sometimes I really ask myself, how does he balance the business and the church affairs and the family affairs, and even sometimes, because as we speak about what he's doing, I think we are speaking about the world of the heart.
Sure.
He has some discipline in his heart, but I think maybe later we'll talk about it. Because there are many challenges and temptations, especially when you're doing business and also you're working especially for God in church. But one thing that I know, as man grows, he grows with some desire. And to some extent, it can be a good one. On the other hand, it can be a bad one. And especially when it comes to money, money is important, is an essential commodity. And even according to the Bible talks about money being a defense, but also wisdom being a defense as well. But then it adds and says, but the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them that have it. So for me, I don't know. But many people, when you look at many people, the reason why they cannot be able to manage and control themselves and have like a target goal, it's simply because of the desire which is in their heart. And to some extent, I will not talk about, people think that I will have desire for this and that and that, but it all starts with money.
True.
I don't think whether God was not having something that he could write on the Bible when he said the love of money is the root of all evil. And many people have erred from their faith because of that. and pierced themselves with mad pain. But as I listen to my brother here, Mwangi, he's speaking about how he couldn't be able to continue working in the Kenya Airways because of them pushing him to work on Sunday. To some extent, I feel that in the world of the heart, there are functions of the heart. And if people do not know how to use that, the function of their heart clearly, they tend to get into the point of now getting to that love of money. People because of money, money is everything, isn't it? And of course, money is good because without money, it might be a bit challenging for you to live and have peace.
Let me interrupt you and ask. You've just mentioned something very crucial and saying money is the root of all evil. So is it written in the Bible?
Yes, it is.
But again, you're saying you need money to navigate a lot of things.
Yes.
Isn't that being contradictory of what you're saying?
No, it is not. I think it's important also to quote some things, because it's so important when you have to understand. In the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10, it talks about verse 9, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drawn men into destruction and perdition. Also, it talks about, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. When you look at the people, recently we have been having many cases of suicide, many cases of femicide, many cases of people fighting, many domestic violence. It's not because of any other thing. When you go to the root of everything, you find that these people were either fighting for money or demanding for money.
Sure.
And because of that, I'm not saying that money is not important. It's very important. I'm not saying that to become rich is not important. It is very important for you to become rich. And of course, God himself says that silver and gold belongs to him.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that God is saying that people should not be rich. It's not that people may misunderstand what we are trying to say here, but it's not that God is telling people that they shouldn't be having money, they shouldn't be rich, because he's the one who made Solomon to be very rich. He's the one who made Abraham to be very rich. He's the one who made David to be very rich.
Yes.
Many people in the Bible, isn't it? But now we have to think about the desire and self-control. Yes, you have everything, that you have self-control. Somebody said like this, when people get money, there are other things that they think about. One of the things that they think about is what? Lust, isn't it?
Yes.
They start thinking about, let's say for example, we look for money to eat, and then after eating, what do you do next?
Drink water.
You start thinking about other things. And if you have no self-control in you, that is the time that if it's a man, you start thinking about women.
Yes.
And that's why you find many people having so many wives. Why do they have so many wives? Because they're saying that money is not a problem to me. I can control them. I can manage them.
But is it true that you can control everything with money?
No, it is not, because there is the word of the earth. That's why I'm talking about desire and self-control. If you, it's like...
I believe just what Mr. Ben is saying, in the life that we are living today, you have to have something on the pockets.
Yes.
Another day I was talking to some gathering of men, and I told them, I was making fun, me, I'm a motivator. A man normally comes to a menopause when his pocket has nothing. Yes.
Wow, that's a take home.
Yes, I was making a fun to them. Because maybe like us, we are pastor, we are studying there, but when you get in the house, you are the father in the house. You have to go and provide. So when you're not having something on the pockets, it's not sounding better.
So
Yes.
that being a very funny statement at that. When you say the menopause of a man is when they don't have anything in the pocket,
Yes.
with the current trends, today I have, tomorrow I don't have. So does that mean when tomorrow I don't have, I'm in menopause, and the other day I have, I'm back to normal?
I'm saying this,
Uh-huh.
just take it on this angle.
Yeah.
A wife and a husband.
Sure.
At times, the husband might be working quite hard and difficult to attain money. A week or two. And maybe he's not getting something to take home. When the wife talk about what have you come in like a man in the house, and you have nothing. That's why I'm putting that lacking a better name, where I can put to that man. Yes.
Interesting. So, having said all this, to you as a businessman, you've said you've been in Wakulima market for the last 15 years.
Yes.
Comparing the first 5 years and where you are now, what are the growth, or what is the growth that you can tell us about in terms of now business and you being an entrepreneur, having different things to run and to overlook? You've mentioned about also discipline. What has made you to sustain to be in the same place but also growing for the last 15 years? That's a decade and a half.
I'll put it this way, my friend. In the beginning of everything, you have to put God first.
Sure.
And I've been telling my people at Wakulima Market, by the way, we had many Wakulima Market, also like a church, where we normally go and talk to people in the morning before they open businesses, because we have to put in their heart that beginning of everything is God. Number two, when you happen to come at Wakulima Market, nowadays we have changes the way it was there before. You could walk there around and you see somebody talking bad about you, when you happen to jump on what they have arranged there. But when you come today, me, I'm the one of the officials, and somebody utter bad word to you, we normally give a disciplinary of 1 week. Go and stay in the house, then after 1 week shall come back.
Wow, interesting.
That's how serious we are. Number two, we have the mandate even to take you to the council and make sure you have been taken to court. Because we want to maintain that business, that discipline in our market. And mind you, the logistics says Wakulima Market is one of the alleged and well-disciplined market as we speak. Make a visit and you see what I'm talking about today.
Sure.
Number two, it's a place where we have got very educated and learned guys, ladies and gentlemen are learned there. And now they are operating either big or small business, having that education on how to operate and how to do it on a discipline matter. From the 5 years I've been in Wakulima, the first time I went there, I had no much about the business because I was very new in that area. Number two, I happened to go to the people who normally try to educate me how we can operate the business. And because I have the seal and the passion in me, I hear what they are. I just do what they told me. And now I am where I am today, because some people hold my hands and tell me, you normally do this and this. And they told me the key thing of everything is to be disciplined. Because my friend is this, you can be working with somebody for the last even 5 years. They normally said the commodity from the shambas. And they said to you, not knowing even the face of that guy. After the commodities have come, be faithful, sell what you sell, then you give them the person what you owe to him, then your profit put in the pocket. At times does not mean that you have a huge amount of money that you may operate the business. It's a lot of faithfulness and discipline. There are those people who have worked there. I have never seen them. I don't even know them. I just know the number. You see, now after selling the commodity, then I'll sell, then I'll take what is mine, and I give him what belongs to him. That's the kind of discipline I'm talking about. And when you become faithful, if you're in those suburbs, different places, talk of Tanzania, talk of Uganda, talk of Kenya, all the areas, and we hear somebody called Pastor. Pastor, I want to bring this commodity for you. I have heard that you're a good person. Now you see, that's how now you're getting customer from the shambas. The moment that you get commodity direct from the shamba, and somebody also is buying there in the market, I'm telling you, are very far much before them, even they're making the profit. That's how you come and enjoy the business. Yes.
Interesting. You've mentioned something that has got me like alerted, which I'd want you to answer when we come back after the break, about the disciplinary matter. Now, the question is, when you say you take such disciplinary action with the people who are working at Wakulima Market, is it something that you sat down as everyone who works there, or is it only the committee that sat down, agreed and said this, and this should be followed, and whoever doesn't adhere to this, these are the consequences, and also have to educate them on the same? Maybe to answer a yes or no question as we take a break.
Thank you. Yes.
It's the committee, or it's the whole market?
It's the committee that we sat down and we say, now you have come. We want to bring a new change.
A new change is what we want to listen when you come back after the break. Viewer, I hope you're learning as much as I am about entrepreneurship and the future trends of entrepreneurship. Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
But then one day, I thought, I'm definitely going to go to hell. So I began to read the Bible a lot. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Ruth. And as I kept reading the Bible, something amazing was that each of the words inside the Bible began to live inside me. This is really amazing.
The long-distance relationship.
First of all, the world is now a global village thanks to technology and the internet.
When you talk about relationships, when you talk about love, when you talk about feelings, when you talk about emotions, all these things originate from the heart. I never saw in the Bible where someone was married and then the wife was living far away from them, and then there was something that they were building.
When it comes to relationships and probably communication, that distance is not a barrier.
Yeah.
But it is in communication, in effective communication. There is something that long-distance relationships lack, which is very essential for effective relationship building.
When you're cooking and the tap gets spoiled, do you try to repair it from that point, or you run to the main source and then you close it?
The moment we receive the word of God in our heart, from that moment, God starts working in our life. So the four lepers, they did not have hope. In fact, when you see them, they were so weak, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So when you see from the Bible, Jesus, he became their hope. And Jesus can become our hope when we have no hope.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about future trends in entrepreneurship. What is your take on that? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, Mr. Alpha, I was asking about a yes or no question. Yes. And they said yes. The committee sat down and saw it best for Wakulima Market to see the change, to come up with this, the do's and don'ts, rules and regulations at the same time. For the people or the traders who are at Wakulima Market, yes, for those brokers, for those suppliers, because I believe I've been there once, that the market in itself carries every sort of person, yes, different in terms of character, personality, and everything.
Yes.
How do you now bring them together and tell them these are the things that you've talked as a committee and we have agreed now for them to follow? And how long did it take for them to adjust to that new and straight way?
A very wonderful question. Now, when we have a lot of people living together, discipline is the key.
Sure.
In our Kulima market, I said earlier, it's a very organized market. We have 29 sectors. What do I mean by sectors? We have the carrot sector, the pineapple sectors, the hardcat sector, the purple sectors, the peas sectors, tomatoes, the roots, that is yakinandoma, gouache, those are called the roots because they normally come from the roots. And these sectors, we have the leaders, a chairman and a vice. And from that angle, from that umbrella, we also have the executive. Those have been selected by this whole congregation. So because what we normally do, after doing the major elections, we go to the sectors, and from these sector leaders, the sector levels, we select those leaders. Now, when you want to implement anything, we call those sectors leaders, then we make those rules. We call them in a big hall like Mang Hotel. We spend our day there talking about what can we do to our markets.
Sure.
Now, when those sector leaders say, so we agree, these are the rules that we are going to obey, and as the executive from the sector leader that now we implement. From that level, the sector leaders go and even echo what we have agreed to the sector which is they are representing. If the sector is becoming notorious, we normally call that sector in a hall. Then as our official props for the leaders, we talk about what we have said. Talk of handicraft. Those are a very hardcore sector to operate, even to manage. But what we normally do, we as and together with the county, we normally take those handicrafts, we close them with a chain. After 2 or 3 days, now you have to apply what we are saying. That's how we normally do the disciplinary. Now, but if you don't obey, we can also suspend you for some days, even if you take that handicraft to the general stores. It's that easy and that harsh.
That's easy and that harsh,
Yes.
indeed. There is a question here that I want to read from one of our viewers that is asking, let me look at it. What advice would you give someone who is trying to become an entrepreneur?
A very good question. Number one, you have to decide from innermost of yourself and have the desire of what you want to do. Like Wakulima Market, I have helped a lot of people. They normally say, I want to see you. Even somebody when I was coming, Pastor, I want to come and see you. Ask me, give me the advice of the business. When I meet with that person, number two is just to ask yourself, are you fully committed on what you want to do? Because what I normally do first, we go around to the market, and I normally tell you, even this one, we're selling this more kind of commodity you can see here. This lady or this kijana, he managed his home on what he is doing. Number two, don't believe because now you have started a business, you can be like me. It's a journey. This journey you have to persevere, to have a discipline and to wait upon God also. And the faithfulness and discipline is the key. Don't see because somebody is bringing a mananasi, a pineapple, with a truck, that you can come tomorrow and be like that somebody. No, it will take a process. You start by selling those pineapples, you take some small dozens, maybe 22 dozen there, you put them down. From down level, God will uplift you to that level of coming with that truck. Yes.
Interesting. Now, when you're saying, when you're mentoring these young people to come into business, you've said discipline and perseverance is the main key. I'm looking now in a case study of someone who was employed, and every end month they are waiting for a salary in whatever figures.
Yes.
And now this is a business. Today there is income, tomorrow there is no income, depending with what you're doing. What do you tell them that will anchor them to continue holding on? Because I look, by the end of the month, if the employment area I was earning maybe 20 or 30,000.
Yes.
And when I come to business, by the end of the month, if I calculate, I have earned a lot. But when it comes, because now, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm employed, I'm able to manage my 30,000 for the whole month because I know the next money I'll get end month. But if I'm not used to getting money every day, I might get money every day, spend unwisely, and by the end of the month I have nothing to show, even no money to pay the rent, but yet I'm working and I can see, even if I go through my books, I have a lot of money compared to employment, or maybe lesser. How do we discipline, or how do you mentor this person to discipline themselves so that now they can also grow in that and also not despair and say, no, business is not for me, I'd rather stay in employment?
Thank you so much for that wonderful questions. I have seen this temptation normally for falling so much to the young ladies.
Sure.
When they want to do start a business, when they come to our place at our Wakulima markets, because our Wakulima market we make money. That's the truth of the matter, that we make money. When you happen to come there, you see people counting money. Money, 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 because we normally go there to make money, not to play in the football to bring anything else. What we normally do is doing money. You could see us holding the money with those elastic. Maybe you have sold that rolly of potatoes. Maybe you had 3 rollies. You see, one rolly has been maybe carrying 3,000. I mean 300,000. If you had 3, those are 6. You see, they'll be entrusted to sell those 3 rollies, you alone. Now you have to go and get some boys to assist on them, and the same. So when there is beautiful young girl, when they come out from school, and they want to come and see the business, you see Alpha now holding this huge amount of money, they are tempted. They are becoming cheap like chips. You see now, you don't have the mind of the business. Now you have the mind of the money. When I come to my case, I normally tell them, go slowly and slowly. I can point 1, 2, 3. You get some of them even being the second wife because they have seen that huge amount of money. Because your mind have been not set on the business, they were looking for the money, now you have seen the money. I'm telling you, it's like a track that you have to train them if they are serious on what they want to do the business.
Sorry, let me put you in a spot as the chairman and being in this sector for a long time.
Yes.
You've mentioned about, you've said most of the affected genders are the female.
Yes.
And you've correctly mentioned that it is them who are not focused into business that end up getting lost or maybe even getting married as the second wife because they have shifted their focus.
Yes.
So when I'm coming here, who is to blame? Is it me as the girl who have seen an opportunity and gone for it? Or is it you as the man who has agreed or has also lured me? Because I believe if I'm getting married as the second wife, it is not me who has pushed you to marry me. It is something that you have agreed. So who is to blame between me and the gentleman?
Thank you so much for that question. And I'm going to put it clear here. The earth now has changed.
Sure.
Even you yourself, you can drive on that area. Because there's something that you're after and you have seen it. You want to work it out on it. And you persevere and you work it and makes you successfully. The one who was there had been chased away. Now you're in that house. In my office, I have dealt with a lot of those cases here and there. And I normally advise the young girls and even the young men, be purposed what you have come to do. Number 2, give yourself value. You cannot buy a value from a shop.
And what do you do when you're dealing with such cases? Now, you've been brought for a case of that. Maybe for this instance, the husband and the wife were doing the same business or different business but in the same place.
Yes.
And now this young girl has come. And now you've mentioned about this now first lady being pushed away and him being now the main. Now, when such cases come to your table, how do you address them? Do you have also disciplinary cases like you have for those who are being vulgar and rude to the clients by chasing them or doing something? What do you do to them when such matters comes to your table?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. Now, but one of these I could say is this. At times you give the advice, but the one to make the conclusion is the victim. Let me use that word. Now, I had a case between a certain man who happened to go to Uganda, and he was sending some truck of onions to the market so the wife could sell. And I remember, because I wanted to know the genesis of the problem. The man stayed at Uganda, I think, for 6 months. He was selling the onions, selling the onions, selling the onion. The lady was selling, he was selling some money. But I remember the man telling me that when the time he was going to Uganda, the account was reading 6 million. But when he came back and said how the business had been operating is not doing well, and in fact, I insisted, even for the record of M-Pesa and the Safaricom, because I wanted to know the genesis of what we are talking about. I remember I even called the manager of, because we are friends, the manager of a cooperative, because I told him this is a crisis and I want to see how we can assist. To make the matter worse, the account of the lady was reading 16 million, while the account of the man was reading 500,000. I'm telling you, in that table, the man could beat the table. He was telling he wanted even to kill that lady. And now, after talking and arguing and talking with the leadership and the wise people, we had no choice. By telling now the man, now agree on what it happened, so that we may move. And the end of it, they separated. Now the man got down or went down, but then the lady akainuka. So you, as you speak, Eddie anaita maroli mingi sana kwa wakulima, that lady. Alichukuliwa huko kwa barabara kama anamwaga vitunguu chini. Huyu kijana akamchukua akaona hapa. Kuna
Now,
yes.
I want us to take a break, and this one maybe can come to you as a mind education specialist. What he has just narrated is something very crucial. With the case scenario of this lady who was just mwagaing kitunguu kwa barabara, and now is the one of the biggest suppliers, bringing the many tons of onions or any other commodity in the market. When I'm sitting as a viewer, I'm now trying to think, as a natural business person, I'm trying to think, then this lady is not the problem, because him is so... Now, did we have an agreement of saying, this is the money I have to send back to you, and this is the money I have to keep? Because if we do not agree, then I'm saying...
Iko hivi, my friend.
I want you to answer that when you come back after the break. Viewer, I hope you're learning as much as I am. Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.
Are you all happy to see me? Yes, I'm also very happy to see you. We're going to make, ta-da, a banana milk package.
Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about financial trends on entrepreneurship. What is your take on the same? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, you had narrated a very interesting scenario of what happens in the market. And we wanted to come to you, Mr. Benjamin, as a mind education specialist. What is your take on the same in such a scenario that Mr. Alpha has narrated? Who is to blame? In as much as we are not playing the blame game now, but now when I'm seated, I'm seeing a wise lady who has grown from zero to a hero, so to speak. And now, I don't know if I should term the man unwise, or I don't know what terminology to give to the man, in as much as what happened to him is sad. But what is your take on that? What would you say on that?
There are three things that work the same, under the same principle.
Sure.
One of them is doing business. Another one is making relationships. And the third one is preaching the gospel.
Sure.
When you're doing these things, if you meet a stranger, and I'm very sure that even he cannot do the same, I don't think whether it is very necessary for you to spend, even, don't think about so much, 50 shillings on a stranger. Kuja nikupeleke twende tukunywe chai. It's not working.
Why would you say
it
so?
Doesn't work. It is not, you are not free to do it. But, if I reach a point that I know Mr. Mwangi, we have been working together, there is that kind of relationship, that field of relationship between me and him, then to spend my money is not a problem. This thing happens to, can you imagine if you met a man and then he tells you, you know what, Eunice, I want to marry you, a stranger. But I think nowadays women are so...
we have evolved. It's not a big deal, man.
No. That's a contract. That will not be. That will not be.
It's not a big deal right now. If
No,
you
this is
find
what
a
I'm talking.
stranger.
That's why we have so much femicide every time, everywhere. Simply because of this one thing. There is that way of creating a field of that relationship, that openness, trust, honesty. But even when you're doing business, it is the same. For me to spend my money with Mr. Mwangi, there must be that flow of heart between me and him. Two, why is it that when people meet with pastors or men of God, they tend to tell them that you have the other gospel? I cannot understand what you're saying, because this person is a stranger. He never created that field of, to be open, for me to trust you. And that's why we come back to the issue of the world of the heart. For the heart to flow, there are functions of the heart. And we have to talk about something that makes the heart to be easy to flow. One of them is trust. Two, honesty. And then three, openness. And when now it comes to openness, is when now you talk. There is that part of communication. You are communicating, isn't it? Many people, they never, we can be sitting with you here, Eunice, but the truth of the matter is that you are isolated. You are with people, but you are isolated. You never open your heart to anyone. And Mr. Mwangi, being a businessman and also a pastor, he must be having that thing of thinking deeply about the people he's working with. He talked about something that I want, if possible, he can clarify, because it's him who is in the market and he has been there for quite some time. There are many temptations, especially when you're in the market. Not only even the young women who come there because they want to do business, but them who are coming there in pretense of buying. But the main business is Mr. Mwangi. And that's where now it comes to the point of how much can Mr. Mwangi control his heart? How much does he have self-control? Because honestly, every man has desire. And it starts from the moment that you come out of the womb of your mother. You grow with that desire. But the problem is this, the desire is bigger than the self-control. Eunice, if you have a very good car, very powerful engine, but has no brakes, is it a car?
No.
Are you safe to drive in that?
No.
Now, the biggest problem of what you're talking about, women going to men and then they succeeded in business, it's okay, it's fine, no problem. But these people are like a very good car without brakes. And that's why, you see, like the example that Pastor Mwangi was giving of that lady. Then, what will stop that man from even killing such a person? We only think about the gain, we never think about the repercussions. Why? Because we lack something. There is something that we are not sure about, and that is the word of the heart of man. You know, Eunice, we read one verse, and then it talks about the love of money. Now what you're talking about and trying to support is the love of money.
No, I'm just trying to reason.
Which, because of that, it makes people to come out of the faith. And then from there, they pierce themselves with so much pain and sorrow. Isn't it?
Sure.
And when you look at this world, there are so many people who are now crying. Why are they crying? They are crying because at some point, they saw a channel of making money. But that channel of making money, the end result of that channel of making money got them into prison, or there was that case in just the other day, it's not a long time, that happened in Roysambu about a girl who was, you know,
Marked.
let me ask you, we don't know the genesis of the story, we cannot talk about the story, but do you think it just happened that you can wake up at one single day and then you come with a power soul and then, do you think it's possible? It is not. There is a genesis of everything. There is where it started from. There was the benefit that you were looking at, but you never thought about the repercussions.
It was a process.
And that's why I was saying like this, there are three things that work together. There is that field of you that you created, kawanja fulani, kakuwa karibu, to learn that person, to learn the heart of the other person. You know, love is not what you see. And I'm sorry to say this. Women don't love, they submit.
Says who?
But the Bible talks about,
Ephesians.
it is Bible. Men are the ones who love. And then men are like the sun, women are like the moon. What you give, she reflects that. Do you understand?
On that point, what you give is what I reflect.
Yes.
So if you give me love, I reflect love. If you give me, which is true, I'm not disputing that. So on this case scenario of this person coming with power and everything, what did he give for it to, or what did I give? You say it's a man who gives for me to reflect. Then what is making now this man to, or this men that, now that you mentioned about femicide and everything that is happening, what made him now go to that extreme?
Now
Are they not psychopaths from the word go?
The biggest problem is this. I talked about this thing. For the heart to flow, there must be number one, trust. There must be number two, honesty. There must be number three, openness. You know, women of today, I'm sorry, and the young people who are now going to the mama Mama wa Haria. There is one thing that is never free. These people are never open. There is the target. There is a target. You know, even for the people who do news, they have a target audience. Even in business, you start a business, you have a target audience. Who am I targeting? Isn't it? Now the biggest problem is that when their hearts cannot flow, you cannot understand the heart of that person and what they are aiming at. That's why most of the time you realize that women go out for fun. You go, you meet a man. Yes, of course, like the way Mwangi said, you came there, you found me counting money in terms of hundreds of thousands. And then because your heart is not, you know, that man may be not married, but he's looking seriously for a person that they can marry. But you came in for fun because you saw money. And then after 3 years or 2 years, he realizes that you are not serious. Well, now he has invested everything in you. And then the problem is that you now coming in as, you know, me, I was for fun. I came in for fun.
But then you cannot blame the girl.
Neither
can you blame the man.
Now what is the problem?
Because we did not sit down and talk about it.
Now what is the problem? The problem
I
is
want to
this.
tell you
Not being honest.
And
I'm being told they were running out of time. So forgive me for cutting you short and interrupting you. But as you give me your point, could you also give me your parting shot so that Alpha can finish and we wrap up?
For me, I would say like this. You know, this part of being open does not just start. This part of being honest does not just start with you. The trust cannot come from within you. That's why people pretend to give this what they cannot give. But true love comes from God. But people left God and then they are trying to do their own things. That's why most of the time we have all these messes. So what can I tell people? Let us go back to the Bible.
Let us go back to the Bible. And to you, Mr. Alpha.
I think I started by saying, if you want to succeed, in the beginning, God. Like me, the way I am today, is because I started with God. Even Wakulima Market, as we close the year, we normally have a very big crusade to tell people, now we have to come and thank God. In fact, the last year I called Wagojili to come and open, to do a great open year there. Because at Wakulima Market, we are rooted on God. And in every business, be faithful on what you are doing. Knowing what you sow, you shall reap.
Interesting. Knowing what you sow, you shall reap. Viewer, I hope you've learned as much as I have. Let's continue this conversation online across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.
Everywhere. GBS.